Hi, and welcome to this week's edition of Gameplan with Marcus Hersh. That's me, Marcus Hersh. Gameplan is a product that the Racing Form puts out, I think, 5 times a week. Synopsis of racing across North America, plus on weekends and holidays, a stakes picks grid from some people who are supposed to know what they're talking about, and also Playbook, a series of spot plays where people select horses that might be worth a bet. And that's what I'm here to talk to you about, focusing on this weekend and specifically Saturday, March 23rd. I try to look for value in all the selections I make, which is kind of obvious. And I'm hoping maybe to find a little bit in two races at Fairgrounds, which has the 8 stakes Louisiana Derby card. I'm going to look first at race 3, which is the New Orleans Ladies. I believe it's a listed stakes race for older fillies and mares, turf route. And the horse I'm interested in is named Flower Party number 5, which she's listed at 5-2 on the morning line. I think she could be higher than that, actually. I don't know if I'd like the line on a couple other horses here. I think it could be shorter, like La Sola Ranger, for instance. Recall is going to take some action. I just don't know how much support this filly is going to get. She does show a Group 1 race in her most recent start. She comes from Italy. It's her first start in the United States. Italian racing fell on hard times years ago and has never recovered. So when you see a Group 1 there, it's obviously not a Group 1 in a major European jurisdiction. But this horse did run in a Group 1 in her most recent start, and also ran in a couple of good races earlier last year as a 3-year-old filly. The one that I watched was the Premio Derby Italiano last May, where was on good ground. She's running some softer courses. Her last 2 run heavy and soft, and just watching her go on good, I think that she doesn't want it soft. This course on Saturday at Fairgrounds is going to be firm, so that's in her favor. I also think that the cut back to this middle distance from 1.25 miles is going to be beneficial to this horse, even though her family slants towards stamina. She's definitely run well enough in these overseas races to contend in a race at this level. And having talked to the trainer Mike Stidham, he said that she has adapted amazingly well for a horse running in a different change of jurisdictions and training styles completely. Has got put together a really solid work pattern and Lasix for her first start in the States. I think that she's going to be on or near what looks like a very slow pace. And if I could get something a little north of 5-2, I would better to win here in vertical exotics and use her considerably in multi-race wagers. Looking farther down on the card, the penultimate race of the day, the Fairgrounds Oaks, race 12. Definitely not the strongest edition of this race, not even close to it. It's a below average field for the race. The heavy favorite is going to be number 2, Serengeti Empress. She ran a couple huge races last year too. Just when she gets to the front, she's incredibly effective. She came back from a winter break in the Rachel Alexander Stakes last month. I thought she was going to be a short horse for the race. She showed just a limited work pattern. She wasn't short at all. I guess she didn't lose much fitness over the winter, even during her downtime. And as kind of a lighter frame filly, I think she got ready quickly. What really stood out about that race was the 24-second opening quarter. She got away with a clear lead without having to go fast at all early, which is exactly what she wants to do. Give her credit. She made the most of it. She ran a pretty fast race and won convincingly over a very similar group to what she meets in this spot. What I do think, and the reason I'm interested in the race, is Leora, who's got post number 8 and who has shown pace in the past, just racing with blinkers on for the first time. Well, blinkers for the first time, they're on for this race. She has pace, and I just don't think that. She was also in the Rachel Alexander. She tracked Serengeti Empress. I don't think that connections are going to let Serengeti Empress get away with an easy lead this time. That's my whole theory of the race, is that Leora is going to show plenty of speed and get lapped onto Serengeti Empress. There could be a little bit more pace from a couple other horses here. I do think that there's this general sense that Serengeti Empress is just kind of a lock. She easily beat a similar group last time. She looks like, quote-unquote, better horse than the horses in this race. And it's these situations where this general assumption that tends to produce, excessive wagering, where horses bet below fair value. That means the prices on the other horses are going to rise. And I'm thinking that number 6, Aries 2, will clearly be a playable price if you think she has a chance This is not a horse that I particularly love. I like her in this race because of the circumstances and because what I've seen from her through the winter, where she's really developed more than I saw coming. In her races late last year, she ran okay, but the second by 3/4 of a length in the Silver Bullet Day Stakes in January, which was slow paced, not quite as slow as it might look, because there was a tremendous backstretch headwind that day that slowed down the middle fractions. Still, it was far from an ideal scenario, and she made a decent little move in the stretch. And I think she ran even better last time in the Rachel Alexander, considering the race shape there. She came steadily forward, was well beaten by Serengeti Empress, but I do think that she still has a little more to find. And if the pace scenario works out the way that I expect, she's going to get a nice run into it while the horses up front are tiring at a fair price, hoping that Aries 2 can get there to post an upset in the Fairgrounds Oaks. We'll switch quickly to Laurel Park, track that I cover from a handicapping perspective. I do the analysis there on a daily basis. I've done that for 14 months now. Gained a lot of familiarity with the circuit, feel more and more comfortable with the races I'm looking at there. This is a standard condition for the Maryland circuit where they write an optional claiming starter race where there's a condition like non-winners of X races, in a career. This one is a non-winners of 3 where the horse can be in for $25,000 claiming or run in under a $25,000 starter condition. I see 2 horses that are going to want to go to the front here. They also happen to be the 2 shortest prices. They also happen to be horses that, in my mind, are questionable to stay this 1-turn mile. Number 1, Global Citizen, and then the horse number 7, Throw the Fade. Both coming out of sprints, both showing speed, both in good form. I think they might knock heads. Not sure that either one of them is really going to be finishing with any zeal. So I was looking to a horse from trainer Kieran McGee, who also trains Throw the Fade. He has this horse Arkadag, number 5, who was just claimed out of his last start. This horse, was really kind of looked to be going the wrong direction. Late last year, early this was claimed for as low as $10,000. Claimed out of his last for $12,500, but just completely crushed a field of N2L claimers. That was a 2-turn race. This is a 1-turn mile. I don't think that the distance is going to hinder the horse's chances. He's going to be coming from off the pace. You might think that the mud moved him way up last time because it was a muddy track over which he scored that blowout victory, but he'd run on a muddy track previously and finished 6th 2 starts ago. I just think this is a horse who had a moderate amount of talent all along. For whatever reason, it wasn't getting expressed. He was claimed off a good race. The trainer isn't even running him for a tag, and he's got this other horse who's going to be a much shorter price. I think this one might be live. 12-1 seems like a legitimate price. I could see the horse going off at those odds easily, and at something like that price, I'm definitely going to have a little shot on Arkadag, number 5, in this race at Laurel. Whatever track you're looking at, I hope you have a good weekend wagering-wise. The Fairgrounds card featuring the Louisiana Derby. It's got a lot of interesting races. It's a good weekend of racing. Hopefully it can be profitable as well.